What's up, champs? Welcome to another episode of the Short Shifts Fantasy Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Keeping Karlsson. I'm your host and resident April Fool, Nick, double shifting like Kucherov to bring you the latest fantasy news in this all-important championship week. You know, I've always told people the only difference between me and Kucherov is a pair of cups, a Hart Trophy, 2 Ted Lindsay Awards, and about a dozen All-Star nominations. And much like Kucherov, I am currently limping into my third place match in Cupful, unfortunately undone by the Boston Bruins that were not named David Pastrnak. If you're new here, Short Shifts is a twice-weekly check-in between the ginormous Sunday evening episodes of Keeping Karlsson, designed to keep you up to date with fantasy news, takes, and analysis all throughout the fantasy season. It all comes down to this, folks. Championship week. Let's get right into the news. The Vegas Golden Knights continue to live up to their cutthroat reputation, axing head coach Bruce Cassidy with 8 games to go in the regular season, and bringing in John Tortorella to coach his 6th unique team in the NHL. The first period under Tortorella looked iffy, but eventually the Golden Knights turned it on and made short work of the last-place Canucks. Their schedule the rest of the week isn't great, but Ivan Barbashev and Rasmus Andersson are pretty hot right now, so if you need someone to fill in, you could do a lot worse than them. On the other hand, Tomas Hertl is still 94% owned in Cupful and just got his first assist in over 12 games. Personally, I think he's a cut candidate, but I'm not sure how Vegas is going to react towards coaching them, so I wouldn't blame you if you decided to hold on for dear life. Over in Philadelphia, the bars are probably closing up their taps on lagers, stouts, and IPAs because they're going all in on porters. Porter Martone signed his entry-level contract on Sunday and made his debut against the Capitals on Tuesday night. As a Flyers fan, all I have to say about this is, thank goodness. We were a bit worried about another Cutter-Gauthier situation, but it looks like that's not the case. Martone put up 5 shots and a hit over 22 shifts, the 4th most of any Flyers forward. Rick Tocchet started him out on the second line with Travis Konechny and Christian Dvorak, but he did see ice time with other players. So check game day tweets to make sure that you're up to date with the latest of the Flyers lines. In records news, Lane Hutson is now the fastest defenseman to record 30 multi-assist games in his NHL career. Now, Lane Hutson isn't going to be available to you, but his brother Cole probably is. And wouldn't you know it, Cole just recorded his first 2-assist game. Cole is currently 33% rostered in Cupful, the Keeping Karlsson Ultimate Patron Fantasy League. And the Capitals play on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday this week, so Cole Hutson could be an interesting add if you're looking for points from a defenseman. In Edmonton, Connor McDavid is all but guaranteed to secure his 9th top 3 scoring finish of his career this season, passing Mario Lemieux and Phil Esposito. The only players who have had more top 3 scoring finishes in a career are Gordie Howe, and it says here, Dwayne Gretzky? Oh, sorry, I meant Wayne Gretzky. While McDavid won't be available to your team unless you picked him in the first round, most likely, the main beneficiary of Connor McDavid's production recently has been Matt Savoie, who's riding shotgun with him on line 1 and power play 1. Savoie is only 12% rostered in Cupful, so he's widely available for managers who want to get a piece of McDavid's scoring action. Some quick injury updates for you. Cale Makar left Monday's game with an upper body injury and didn't return. He's day-to-day right now, but it looks like he might be out for the rest of the fantasy playoffs. In the meantime, Sam Malinski replaced him on the top power play unit for Colorado, and he's only about 37% rostered on Cupful, so he could have a good opportunity this week to get you some points on a red-hot Colorado power play. Chicago's Artyom Levshunov is done for the season, unfortunately, after sustaining a fracture to his left hand. He tried to play through it for a bit, but ultimately his season is done. Chicago is trying a new-look 5-forward power play 1 unit, including Bertuzzi, Nazar, Teravainen, Bedard, and Anton Frondel, who scored his first career goal against Winnipeg. Congratulations to him. Carter Gauthier was also injured on Monday and will miss the game against the Sharks. Anaheim is hopeful that he returns over the weekend, and seasoned listeners know what my advice is going to be. Check game day tweets for the latest updates on all their line combinations. And to wrap up the first segment of the show, let's talk about the 3 stars of the week. Our first star is Jakub Dobeš, goaltender of the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs have been playing well, and they have an upcoming back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so teammate Jacob Fowler will get at least 1 start. Fowler has been generally valuable in his starts and could be a good candidate for a Sunday savior to potentially clinch your championship match. Our second star of the week is Pavel Zacha, who has 5 goals and 4 assists over his last 5 games playing on Boston's second line, with Viktor Arvidsson, who has also been red hot with 3 goals and 4 assists in that same span. Boston is playing tonight, and wouldn't you know it, Zacha and Arvidsson both have a point already in the game. Besides tonight, the Bruins are also playing on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Zacha is owned in every division of Cupful, but there's one league out there where Viktor Arvidsson is available in free agency. Can't hurt to look. That line has been scorching hot recently, and this could be enough to tip your matchup in your favor. And our third star of the week is John Carlson, now of the Anaheim Ducks. That feels weird to say. Carlson has been incredible on the Ducks, with a goal and 7 assists in his past 4 games. Now, there's a lot of concern right now in Anaheim over Cutter Gauthier missing the game against the Sharks tomorrow, but we think that they'll probably keep the top power play unit together. It sounds like Leo Carlson is fine after an injury scare yesterday, and Troy Terry is 100% owned in Cupful leagues, but there are a couple where you would be able to find Chris Kreider or Mikael Granlund. With that, we'll take a quick break and come back with some hot and cold streaks for you.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. You can even bet on all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm looking right now. I'm seeing there's odds for the NHL draft. Is it the first overall pick going to be Gavin McKenna or the field? You can bet on that even. New customers bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager, tax, pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms of responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL. All rights reserved.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get into some hot and cold streaks. First up, we've got Jordan Spence of the Ottawa Senators. Spence has a pair of goals and 5 assists over his past 7 games, while averaging over 24 minutes of ice time per game. He's been shooting a bunch recently and also has potential to throw a couple hits and a couple blocks your way as well. Spence is currently 61% rostered in Cupful, and the Senators play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday this week. He's currently anchoring the top power play unit in Ottawa as well, so if you need points from defensemen, Spence could be your guy. A cold streak down in Tampa, Oliver Bjorkstrand hasn't pointed in 11 games, and it looks like 14% of Cupful managers are still holding on to him. His ice time has taken an absolute nosedive recently, playing less than 10 minutes in the past 6 games, including 2 games against Montreal and Minnesota, where he seemed to be a healthy scratch. I have a bit of a soft spot for the guy because he played in Seattle, but at this time of the year, you can't be sentimental. Drop him and get someone who will play. And speaking of Seattle players, Bobby McMann has been red hot. This man cannot stop scoring. He has 7 goals and 4 assists in only 8 games with the Kraken, shooting reliably and occasionally throwing in a hitter block. He doesn't have anything today against Edmonton, and their schedule for the rest of the week isn't great, playing on the busy Thursday and Saturday. But if there's any chance you can fit him into your roster, I would suggest you try to do so. Another hot player is Utah's Alexander Kerfoot, with 3 goals and 2 assists in his past 4 games. His deployment isn't great on the 4th line, and they play the busy Thursday, Saturday as well. But if you miss out on McMann, Kerfoot could be a nice piece to add before you drop him for a Sunday savior. As a sort of general cold streak, we've had a lot of goalies blowing up in the last couple days. Linus Ullmark, John Gibson, Ilya Sorokin, and Dustin Wolf, just to name a few. These guys can be big-name starters, but it's the last week of fantasy playoffs, and you got to have absolutely no sentimental attachment to players. If you can't trust them for a start, or they're playing on a crowded night, maybe you drop them. And let's wrap up our hot streaks with a couple of flames. Matt Coronato and Matvei Gridin have been hot on the top power play unit for the Flames. Coronato has 3 goals and 6 assists over his last 8 games, and Gridin has a goal and 5 assists over that same span. They're playing on the second line with Morgan Frost, and their production actually seems somewhat balanced between even strength and power play time. In terms of fantasy scoring, Coronato has been the most valuable Flame this year, but he's only 35% rostered, which says a lot about the Flames, sadly. They play on a busy Thursday and an even busier Saturday this week, so you may not be able to fit them in, but keep them in mind if you've got a surprise injury that you need to fill in for. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed our show, please consider joining the Keeping Karlsson Patreon group at keepingkarlsson.com/patron, where super supporters receive ad-free episodes and you can interact with Brian, Elon, the Short Shifts crew, and hundreds of other talented fantasy managers on our active Discord server. Check out GameDayTweets.com to get all the best info from Twitter without having to slog through the rest of that place, including team-by-team and searchable tweets by player name. Visit that site and the other great sites we use to research our episodes with at Yahoo, Frozen Tools, and Natural Stat Trick. Our intro and outro music was created by Pat Roach. Until we see you next time, play smart and keep your shifts short.